What's up, everybody? Welcome to Night of the Hollow Table. I'm Kyle, joined with
Chris.
it is Chris. Star Wars SITHS on Instagram, top shelf nerds everywhere and all the places. Today we're doing a little bit different format. No video game this time, but we'll switch it up between this and video games.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it is kind of hard to focus on us not seeing each other and playing a game. So
fucking do everything at once. Like, oh yeah, I like this. Yeah. What was that we were talking about again?
I'm not sure. So we'll figure out the format and whatever, but we'll evolve this thing and go. But today we're talking about what everybody else is talking about, the Acolyte. So yeah,
the best episode so far, really.
The best episode so far
out of the bunch. Yeah, like, come on, that's not saying much, but yeah,
it's not saying a whole lot, but anyway, this is episode 5, and we're gonna give you our thoughts. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
All right. I'm going to go first then. So I look at a lot of things differently, obviously. You and I talked about this. I look at it not only from a consumer standpoint, but like just creatively, the cinematography, all these different things. And I just felt like they hyped this up to be one of the greatest lightsaber duels and battles since Maul in episode 1.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it was that. I don't even think it was close, in my opinion. But that's the thing. It's my opinion. I feel like there was a lot. There was a massive lack of story. There was not a whole lot that happened in this episode other than the lightsaber fight. Obviously, we got to see who Smiler Ren is, Slipknot, Sith, whatever we want to call him.
The obvious, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. It wasn't really something that was like, oh, big shock, surprise.
Yeah, it's always these fan theories where we get into it and we're like, what if it's this guy? What if it's that guy? And it's like the most simplest thing. It's him.
It's been him the whole time. Oh, cool. Yeah, I figured that out. Episode 3 or 2. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I think the saber fights, they were trying to do something different, but like it just felt, the visual effects felt a little weird, a little off. Even the stabs and the way he was swinging sabers, some of the moves you could tell they tried to do a little extra, and then we had Force Fu, but the story itself just started out right where we picked up off. It was obviously one episode they shot and they cut it into 2. You can tell it just went right into it. And then we had our main character. She kind of got roped into everything, and then she leaves with Yord, right? And it's just, I don't know. There was not a lot of story for me. We got to see the reveal of the Sith, which he says you would call me a Sith. So he doesn't really call himself a Sith. He says you would call me a Sith. So that doesn't technically break canon, but it does kind of. So I don't know. Overall, I think there was a lack of good cinematography, and I guess the biggest part of this for me was like when they stopped acting, the show got better. I think the Sith had some cool lightsaber moves. I think the way he moved was very different. It felt very like almost horror filmish,
Yeah.
like very creature-esque, and he had some good points, right? Like he's like, you would kill a little girl when he killed a little Padawan, which I felt was like, okay, how can a young Padawan girl fight this Sith or dark person, witch person, whatever we want to call him, better than the rest of the masters? And then pretty much everyone dies, and then I pretty much predicted every part of the episode and how it would unfold. It's very predictable in the way everything was happening. And then he even has a helmet like Magneto that you can't read minds. And what's the name of that metal they call it?
Oh, cortosis.
Cortosis, right? So it's kind of cool that they put that in there. If you know, right? I know people are leaning themselves into Ren, but I mean, overall for me, this episode was just another 5. For me, it was just kind of meh. Like there was maybe 1 or 2 moments in the entire episode where it was like, oh, kind of cool, but I wasn't like blown away. Like I keep hearing everybody else say, the story was really flat for me. The cinematography and visual effects were pretty low for me. Like the trees like getting cut and then falling really slow as the camera pans, looking like a sci-fi channel show, and then they fell in the wrong direction. So if you look at the cut,
that's true. It's like
cut this way and it fell backwards. It should have fell the other way. So it's just, I noticed little things like that and just
I didn't know. I wouldn't notice that. It's just because the line you're in. Yeah, I would never notice it like that.
It takes me out of some of that stuff. And then one of my cringiest moments was when May cuts her hair and she does this. And like looks up. It's like, what even is that? Like, okay. Now if I don't get my haircut cut with a lightsaber from now
Yeah,
on.
me either,
You know,
right?
I
I
mean,
use
I'm
a
not getting a
fucking
cut.
straight razor.
But
Clean that shit
and
up.
and obviously we had obviously we had that parent-child moment where they swap places. It's like,
Mhm.
well, and there just wasn't a lot of originality that, I kind of felt like we would have. I don't know. I think agree it was probably one of the better episodes that we've seen in Acolyte, but I also don't try and lower my bar for the overall show, like to kind of go, oh yeah, well no, this is still just middle. But the same thing with Ahsoka. Ahsoka episode 5
Mhm.
in the middle went a little bit up,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of went back down, right? So that's my thoughts. If I had to give it a score myself, I'd be a 5 out of 10. But what do
5.
you think?
I give it a 7 out of the whole show. The first 2 episodes I give a 5. The third, you know how I feel about that one. The fourth, obviously, like you're saying, it's cut into 2. So you gotta like literally, I count that as one episode, 4 and 5. It's
Yeah,
just
4 and 5
one
are
run
10.
on.
4 and 5 are 100%.
Yeah, I
One
mean, it was
episode.
good. I like the way they started it, where she woke up and just like it ended, and then she's looking up. It's kind of like the tree in the beginning, the first
Yeah.
episode, where her and her sister are there, and it's like falling down. And then you see like that's the only like really cool like cinematography like I liked was like how you still see the scene where he force pushed all the Jedi
Oh,
back.
like just that
Yeah,
continuity,
that
that kind of
red.
like that
Yeah,
red
that
stuff.
was like okay, that was cool. I'm like okay, now we're getting into it.
When we saw
Uh,
people fall into it, and somehow it had like, I don't know, almost had like it had a spell to it or something, where the
mhm.
dust would come up.
Oh, because like
So
it was still misty with the red smoke or whatever.
yeah,
So yeah, I like when it got into that. But obviously, what carried that show was the fighting. That
yeah.
I mean, most people are like, "Oh, I don't like the fighting. I don't like this. I don't like that." But that fighting was, come on, top tier
But
to
but
me.
would you say that was better than like episode 1, like they claimed to be?
No, no, no. Okay, yeah,
All
what
right.
I'm talking about for this episode, when I'm rating episodes, like since we nowadays we have to rate each episode instead of waiting for the whole thing to come out then rate, I would say
Dude.
like out of that whole one, that's the best.
Okay, gotcha.
Not as in whole Star Wars. I don't like Kenobi versus this or Ahsoka
Well,
versus this.
and this is a very interesting thing. You have a different opinion than me.
Mm.
What? And we're not yelling at each
Hold
other.
up, wait a minute. What side are you on, boy?
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I know.
You can have different opinions. Wow,
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. That's kind of
And we're not fighting.
what? What?
I'm not calling you names, am I? No.
Wait, I didn't. Oh wait, I didn't know that.
No, you might. I might be a shill though, so you
Maybe
never know.
you are yelling at me and I just don't know it.
Yeah, I'm doing it through the mind.
I've been in some recent abusive relationships, so I don't know. But I think so with that being said, okay, cool.
Mhm.
So you say it's 7, I give it a 5.
Mhm.
Difference of opinion. We can split it down the middle, say 6.5, 6, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit above average if we combine our scores. But with the lightsaber fighting,
Yeah.
what would you rank that in all of Star Wars? Like
Damn, I
in the
don't know, bro. Because it's like it's its own thing. It's everyone is its own thing. Like it can't compare to prequels, obviously. We all know that. But I would give it like I don't know, bro.
Well, and everyone keeps saying, right? Nick Gillard,
Yeah.
prequels, right? But the other thing I noticed in the prequels, because like right now, what they're doing is they're using like NeoPixel sabers, right?
Mhm.
And they're using those types of sabers in these shows because it adds to the light. You can see it on their face. What I've noticed about the prequels versus all these newer shows
Mhm.
and even movies, in the prequels they went hardcore, like freaking hardcore,
Yeah.
because they were hitting metal against metal and they were just going at it and they were just masking those saber and after the fact and
Yeah.
visual effects, right? So like these, it's almost like they're not just going as hard. Like even like some of the stuff I saw with the choreography and the way they were stabbing and swinging, it still,
Yeah.
if you notice, it feels kind of soft because they don't want to break the sabers. It was like, well, I don't know if I'm directing this thing. I'm like, go at it because we're gonna replace the blade anyway, or
Yeah.
add something to it anyway. So that's what I see from the prequel fights. Yes, the choreography can be a little bit different,
Mhm.
but and maybe a little bit better. But I think that's the biggest thing I noticed. The prequels, they go hard, they go hardcore. Every
Yeah, but
fight.
who knows how heavy they were? I mean, I really didn't go into the documentaries where it showed how heavy the metal ones are compared to the Neo lightsaber ones. Or who knows? Maybe if they were striking, because some of the Neo pixel lightsabers you strike, it lights up. So I don't
Well,
know.
they in the prequels, I think it was just like an aluminum rod. It was
Yeah, it's
pretty light.
aluminum rod,
It
and
was
they
just
just did the
bending and
special
hit as they
effects.
hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think with this, obviously, we have some of these sabers that they use, right? And they're not light,
It was
but
kind of, yeah, because when it's yours running through it, you can tell like it's like the light's not as bright.
yeah,
That was kind of off-putting, especially with the, like what you said a million times with the budget. Like, how do you have 180 mil and just I don't know.
180 million
How is the?
dollars.
I'm not like, oh, this is not George. No, I'm not saying nothing about that. But like,
I,
how do you go from the prequels, right, the lightsaber, how they look, to this, and it's kind of like,
yeah, it feels it's like they're still. I think Ahsoka's lightsabers for me actually look really good. I think
mhm.
they hit, and I know the guys that did that, and I was like, that's. I even told them I was like, dude, that's what they should look like. I
Yeah.
actually like the way that those lightsabers looked, and then they kind of changed it for this. I don't know why they would change it.
Mhm.
It's a different visual effects team, which also shows why budgets keep changing. They don't stick to the kind of same people to do this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, 180 million dollars is more than Episode 3, and we all love Episode 3, but
Yeah.
it kind of blows your mind, and even the fact that our Wookiee Jedi before gets off camera was extremely weird.
Yeah.
There's definitely a way they could have done that, having the Sith guy like kind of here off frame, Wookiee's here in focus, and he kind of
Mhm.
stands up, gets his lightsaber, and then you just see him like start choking him, and then you cut back to May maybe, and you hear like off in the distance this like a
Yeah.
Wookiee scream.
Damn, you did that pretty
Oh
good, bro.
shit! Yeah,
You sure
I don't
that's
know.
not you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
could. Hey, I could do that scene sitting in the chair. Like,
know.
I
Just
won't
chilling,
charge you that much. Yeah, I won't charge you that much. You can still
lay
be on
down.
budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but obviously we're gonna see flashbacks of them, so we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
see
think we'll see
Kalnak.
flashbacks. I
Yeah.
mean, I just don't like when new shows they do flashbacks to tell stories. If you need to have a flashback to tell a story, you're
Mhm.
probably doing something wrong. George never had flashbacks. Remember, we had premonitions. We had like
Yeah.
small things of like Padme and Anakin's wife, Shmi, right? You're like
Mhm.
small things of them suffering, where Anakin's like, I gotta go help him. That's it.
Yeah.
But everything else was told in front of your eyes. This whole like going to flashback stuff, man, it's just been.
Well, you got to remember too, it's a murder mystery, so that's how they're gonna play it out. Just like every murder mystery I
Is it
watch.
really a murder mystery though?
Not anymore. I
We're,
mean,
we're already past that point, and it really didn't feel like we knew who killed who, and like
yeah.
there wasn't really a secret. And
Mhm.
then hang on, let's also talk about how May comes back,
Mhm.
and somehow no one knows it's her, and she has a giant white mark on her forehead,
Yeah.
and the Jedi can read minds, right?
Mhm.
So
But to
why?
the point, I mean, I guess they have to focus and then do it, kind of, to a sense. I mean,
Maybe,
they can
or
do whatever they want now. So
maybe they can't read her mind because she's a chosen one, right?
yeah,
Um,
the
I don't
new
know.
dyad.
Maybe the new dyad. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
That's
obviously, like when they were in the forest, and then she was talking to her, like she had to like to be a diet. Like she had to see, like, all right, my sister's gonna die. I need to go back. And
yeah,
obviously,
and
whenever
then
they're closer, they're stronger.
well, yeah, exactly. But then also when you have that whole, she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this anymore," but then
Mhm.
comes back, "Oh, I'm gonna do it now," because she sees her sister's alive, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? And it's like she's like, "Oh, they changed you, they brainwashed you or whatever," right?
Mhm.
And that's when they swap places. She cuts her hair, and now she's leaving the planet as
Mhm.
one of only two survivors. Well, actually,
Yeah.
one of four survivors,
Yeah,
right?
they just left those bodies. That was a little
Well,
fucking, like,
yeah,
all
it's
right, bro.
like
Hey.
all the Jedi before you that we've ever seen
Yeah.
would like burn the bodies and have some kind of ceremony, something.
Yeah.
They just went deuces.
Deuces, bro. You can keep that
Stay.
house. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Just clean up the bodies for us, please.
Yeah, you can just chill. We're good. We're
Yeah,
leaving.
those
We're
bugs
out.
are just like, they'll come back and they're just like, oh, what's up, bro?
Actually, talking about the bugs.
Yeah.
So I predicted that because I was like, okay, those bugs are gonna be somehow played with the light, and they're somehow gonna take the Sith because we have to keep the Sith or whoever he is alive, right,
Yeah.
for it to continue the story. So how we pull them away from our main characters
Hmm.
to get them away, and it's like if dude just force pushed how many Jedi,
Hmm.
right? How can it get picked up by a few bugs? I I was just kind
Yeah,
of
I don't get the flashlight on the back and how you can't just force take it off. There's like,
How is a flashlight on his back
Yeah.
brighter than plasma from a blade?
Yo, Pip might have the force, bro. Pip was like, yo, I'm going to hang on, bro. I'm going to do this for you guys. R.I.P. Pip.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they have to make an exit. I mean, it's like, come on. Because Soul was he would have took him out at that point.
Right, so with Soul, right, we got a preview of like maybe there's some darkness somewhere, right? And we've had that before. We've had Jedi that have kind of gone against the Council's wishes, whatever. But when he specifically said the darkness, whatever, right, he didn't really, go after and really win that fight until he got angry, right? Until he used some anger, and then we got some Force Fu, which is cool, but
yeah, I digged it. I liked it.
I mean, it was all right for me, but I think I don't know. Maybe we'll see. And that's the thing is like they keep talking to all of these things, and sometimes you don't need to know these things, right? Like sometimes we don't have to hear, oh, there's darkness in you, right? And then maybe he was his master, right, or something, and like, oh, something happened, and he kind of showed him what power was, or like maybe we're getting another flashback to other place. It's like, I don't know. It just feels like there's no continuity to the story. It's like it keeps getting broken up to go back somewhere else to kind of figure out and tell you what's going on when they could have just explained that in the beginning.
Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard with the 30-minute, not really 30 minutes. What, 28 minutes with credits? Even most, even the most people are like, Cortosis, what is that? I mean, you're showing something and you're not kind of explaining it in a way, so it's kind of leaving people like, what? What about that force heal, bro? What about the force heal? Crimea just went up to her and just like force healed her while she was on the floor. That was pretty. I mean, come on.
And also, they're definitely showing the fact that you have to stab someone 3 times in a triangle to make sure they die, right?
So I was like, all right, this is just like the mall fight, but we're gonna do it 2 more extra times.
Yeah, we're gonna go. Oh, okay. She's definitely dead. But I did like the one line that was kind of cool was he's like she was a kid, or whatever, and he's like, you brought her.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was cool. Like that was actually a really
that was
good
your
line.
fault, buddy.
It's your fault. You brought her here.
Yeah, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Like,
you don't bring a Padawan to a match.
You don't bring a Padawan to a Sith fight. Supposedly he's a Sith. That's the thing with this. Like, he's saying he's not a Sith. Like he says, you would call me a Sith. But it's just like that's what I'm talking about. Like a Sith, to me, doesn't matter what timeline we're in, is gonna be proud. Is gonna be like, yeah, I'm Darth this. I'm apprentice to this.
I mean, but that'd be amazing if you could I'm Darth Smilo.
Yeah, so I think he's just like at the end of the day trying to, like he's saying when he was like, oh, I need to get a pupil, I mean, maybe he's getting it because he's trying to kill his master.
Like, Chris, what is an acolyte?
It can be a follower. It can just be a dark side user. It can be, at the end of the day, it can be whatever it wants nowadays, Right. We can change shit. It doesn't matter. Acolyte could mean anything now. We had Sith acolytes in KOTOR and everything else, like in the trailers of the video games and all that stuff. So
it's an acolyte, and he's kind of a Sith and kind of not.
But then why put Kylo Ren? This is what I'm talking about. Why would you put Kylo? Your budget must be shit because they said they didn't watch any of the Force Awakens, none of this stuff. But you're putting Kylo Ren's theme when he's staring over a body. That's kind of weird. So is he a Ren? Is he the first?
There's some definite similarities to a particular character.
Yeah.
In the design of this character, right? Yeah. Call it a ripoff of that character or whatever you want to call it, but it's 100% like super freaking close to Ren, right?
Yeah, because he has it. Even on the back of the helmet has like that swoop, right? Doesn't it have like a swoop?
Yeah, it has a swoop down in the back.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
So it's even
put together the same way. It's like and
even with like the sleeveless, right? We call them sleeveless Sith. I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know what my predictions would be for episode 5. I'm guessing we're probably gonna get a flashback episode again.
Yeah.
Just because they just kind of quickly hinted at so many things, it's gonna have to be a flashback.
Yeah.
To kind of give us some context to what they said. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here.
For sure.
As always, might be overcritical of some stuff. I have a different lens, and I'm looking at it from different places. You look at it from different places. We're gonna have different opinions.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
But aside from that, we do want good Star Wars. We do want these shows to succeed.
Yeah.
Nobody wants them to fail and flop, but like when you're not listening to your consumers, when you're not listening to your fan base, sometimes it's a massive disconnect. And I think everyone wants this show to get better.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would not want this show to get better. A lot of people just aren't watching it, and that's fine. But a lot of people aren't like us, right? If you're a diehard Star Wars fan, you're still gonna watch it. You may not like it, but you're still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm still
You're
gonna
watch
sit
every
there and just
single
be like,
thing.
this mother,
Yeah.
this boy, oh damn.
Sometimes you might just kind of go,
Yeah,
right? But sometimes, there's gonna be moments where you're like, you know what, that was pretty cool, and you always hope for it to get better. Ahsoka, after episode 5, we're all like, whoa. But that's kind of what they've been doing lately, right? It's like, hey, episode 5, check it out, flashbacks, really cool, right? Anakin, Clone Wars, Captain Rex, like they just give us all this stuff. We're like, oh yes, and you're just like, cool. And then for everyone, like that was definitely the peak of Ahsoka. Was episode 5.
That was my peak, yeah.
But that, like, if let's say you rated Ahsoka a 3, that one singular episode would bring it to like a 5 for you, because you're like, or a 6 or something, or whatever, right? Because it's like it was that good, and it's like that's what they've kind of been giving us. It seems like it's like we have a story, but we're gonna make sure to throw in that one episode that we just know
like
you're
the
gonna be
killings. Were all those killings that necessary? Like at that moment,
yeah. So I don't know. Any final thoughts, or think we're good?
That's pretty much it.
But yeah, I do have this thing though for it's a nice fun little book.
What is that?
Why don't you explain a little bit of what this is, and we'll tell them what we're gonna do.
That's an ancient relic from Legends that is not canon. What are you holding?
Not canon?
Yeah, it's not canon. Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Well, we actually, the thing is, we would hope this would be canon.
Yeah, hopefully.
So these are Old Republic stories that we're gonna start to cover. And talk about, because why not talk about some of the good stories in Star Wars that maybe you haven't read yet, and you can definitely pick these books off of Amazon.
Yeah,
soft
they just
covers.
released that, re-released the first
re-releasing this one.
Yeah, for Epic
and
Collections.
Then, you have the hardbacks you can always find and pick up too.
On eBay. Good luck.
But anyway, that's our episode. That's our Acolyte episode 5. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yep.
We went a little bit longer than we probably thought.
Yeah.
But you know what? We try to cover everything, and I might edit some stuff out.
Yeah.
But
I might not even be here. This might be. He might just cut me out and just do my voice. Who knows? Yeah. We'll
I'm
find out soon.
just gonna put a picture of your dog over
there. That's him.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. This was Knights of the Hollow Table.
Yeah.
Keep the Acolyte thing going, and then once we get through the Acolyte, we're gonna dive real deep into the Old Republic and some comic stories and things like that, and some other video games that are coming out. We got Outlaws coming out. We got Bounty Hunters re-releasing. We've been playing some Battlefield 2, Battlefront 2, and so we might be bringing some games back and figure those things out too. But till next time, please like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you search these 2 usernames on Instagram and give us a follow. More content coming soon.
Later.
Peace.